Madeline is a rising senior at UNH, and her independence, her willingness to take on very, very diverse projects, her notable work ethic, and her general companionship have been invaluable to the growth and strength of our business. The Replenish team has vast product knowledge and a plethora of programmatic ideas, and our strong community base is eager and thirsting for more information on living more sustainably. But we've lacked the time, bandwidth, and thought partner to build out the programming, educational support, and offerings to the community. Additionally, we had been at a near standstill with the development of our e-commerce on our website. Madeline's work this summer got us very far off the start line with all of these projects and set us up for continued success in the future. We are grateful for her work and so impressed by her personal and professional growth over the course of the fellowship. She rose to every challenge. And every time I asked, what else do you want to learn? She was like, let me think on that, and took an opportunity to try new stuff. She will be missed, and we are confident that this fellowship will launch her forward into many great opportunities moving forward.
Thank you so much, Ellen. That made my day. That's so sweet of you. I really appreciate all the guidance that you've given me, and it's been a wonderful opportunity working with you.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you want to switch to the next slide, please. So when I first came to UNH, I knew that I had a really strong passion for sustainability, but I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to take it as a career. And through this fellowship, I have been able to have the opportunity to explore education as a career point. And the way that I've sort of been doing that is by connecting with and helping inform customers on sustainability and sustainable living, while also kind of introducing alternatives to harmful products that you may find in like big corporation stores. I've also talked about the benefits of reuse culture and refilling instead of rebuying as an option for consumerism. And there were kind of two aspects to this: the community outreach side, which was mostly through social media posts, eco-focused events, and workshops to sort of set a foundation for customers or anyone who's interested in learning more about sustainability, just to offer those first steps and that basic guidance, which moves me into the education aspect, which was sort of the research side of the fellowship that I did. I looked into a lot of the ingredients in the products that we have in store versus like at a Target or a Walmart, and made infographics to show people just sort of the basic ingredients and some cost comparisons to show, here's what's going on, here are your options, just sort of give them the big picture, along with refilling and reusing habits and newsletter articles, again, just to give some of that more basic information. Next slide, please. So my information, so the work that I've kind of been doing came through in these deliverables. So if you look to the far right with the Welcome to Replenish, that is our July newsletter that I recently wrote, along with 30 newsletter articles, such as the Did You Know Earth Overshoot Day. Again, this is a big project that I took on, which involved a lot of researching into sustainable and environmental and kind of conservation-like topics, and just creating little paragraphs, little blurbs, just to give people that general information along with links so that they can learn more about it in future if they're interested. But something at Replenish that we're really passionate about is just educating and advising people in the best way that we can, so that they are aware of the options that they have and that they have more sustainable choices if they're interested. And something really interesting that happened was our book club that happened just a few weeks ago, which was a very exciting turnout. We read 101 Ways to Go Zero Waste by Catherine Kellogg, and we had really insightful discussions with all of the ladies that showed up. We talked about our current sustainable habits, what we're interested in learning more about, and kind of where our difficulties lie, and just shared personal experiences. And it was a great way to connect with the community. Speaking of connecting with the community, this Friday, actually, tomorrow, we have our summer movie night, where, similar to book club, we will watch a movie and then follow up with a discussion about sustainability and just share our opinions about the film and sustainability in general. Next slide, please. So finishing up, a lot of the deliverables that I've done are meant to be continued over time. So this sort of information barrel is more for Ellen's use after I leave. It's where the e-commerce will live. It's the newsletters, it's the infographics, it's everything that I've been working on so that she can continue to keep her business going, continue to do that community outreach through newsletters, through delivering and shipping of products from the store, and then also through future workshop events such as Composting 101, Crafty Chats, and Low Waste Living, which we are excited to see happen in the next few months. And I just want to say another thank you to Anne for my mentor and just giving me the best summers of learning that I've ever had. So thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, Alexis, go ahead, please.
So Madeline, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. I really loved when you talked about all the community outreach that's taking place, because that really can invite people in who might not have walked into a Refillery before, who might not have felt comfortable. They don't know what that is, what's going on. Could you share some of the ways that you're getting the word out, and maybe some of the challenges that you feel that is with sharing, like come to the book club or come to the movie night, because it's not that easy when communities are so saturated with things going on and families have so much going on in their lives to read one more flyer? Or how has that been for you doing community outreach?
Yeah, Ellen and I were actually just talking about this recently, about how there's just so much noise kind of everywhere and how it's really important for things to stand out. So ways that we've been trying to do that is just sort of, I was kind of like blasting the information in as many locations as possible. So an example of our book club, we put that in the newsletter, put it on the website, put it on social media. We printed out posters, hung them up in the stores. So that when people were coming in, whether they were new or returning, they would see the posters. And we actually had a lot of people ask about it, and we were able to lend out some books, give some resources, and encourage people to come in. But yeah, I mean, the best that we can do, I think, is just to continue to just spread the word and just be as frequent with the message as possible, because there is a lot of noise out there and sometimes you won't be able to stand out. But I feel like if we just continue with that frequency, we'll get the results that we want later on.
Yeah, Alexis, thanks for that question. It sort of gets at the question that I had, which Madeline, it seems like much of this summer for you was an exercise in education and thinking about how to educate varieties of different consumers. And like very simplistically, I could think about two types of consumers, which would be those that visit Replenish Refillery. And so it's a question of how do we get them to purchase more from there, versus another group would be those who've never visited before, right? And so if there was to be another fellow that were to step into your position, what advice would you give them, or sort of what insights did you gain about how to educate effectively? And you kind of just got at this, which is be really persistent. But is there anything else?
I think sort of just to not be afraid, because it is a little bit daunting because you want to get it right. You don't want to defer people, especially if it's their first time and it's like they have an interest and it's been sparked and they want to know more. You don't want to just like kind of scare them, I think. So I remember when I first started, I was really nervous about talking to people and just saying the right thing. It was brand new. But if I were to give someone advice, it's just be confident with it. People want to learn. They trust that you know the information, and they're going to trust the information that you give them. And of course, there's always the opportunity to show, especially in the store. When like new people come in, we usually give them a little speech of like, here's where you can buy bottles. We also have a free jar library. Here's how it works. We can fill in the back for you, and just giving them basic information and just that full-on friendly support, just to let them know like you are on the right track and we are happy that you're here.
That's great. Thanks, Madeline.